Hello, you're about to hear Good Morning Seminole, our monthly signature event. Please enjoy.
To start by telling us something about each of your organizations that maybe we don't know. So Michelle, we'll start with you.
First, I just want to say thank you so much to Alan and to the Chamber for inviting us to participate in this wonderful gathering of small businesses. I think the one thing that you may not know about the Expressway Authority is we have a $4 billion work plan, 5-year work plan, and there's less than 100 people that are actually staffed and employees of the Expressway Authority. Wow. All of our work, 98.9% of it, is done by folks like you, business partners in the community.
Wonderful. All right, that's incredible. All right, Maurice, same thing, something that we might not know about LYNX and the Central Florida Regional Transportation Authority.
Absolutely, and thank you for the invite today as well. So one thing about LYNX, we actually have an agreement with FDOT. We actually run their Road Ranger program along I-4. So next time you are driving, you see a Road Ranger, look for that little LYNX paw sign on the side. That's us. So that's one thing that we do in addition to our transportation services.
All right, that is legitimate. I did not know that. So how many times have we seen the Road Rangers out there? And I didn't know that, so that's remarkable. All right, Roberta, the Sanford Airport Authority, something we may not know.
Again, thank you for the invitation. The airport is comprised of approximately 2,500 acres that is an economic and employment center hub in the Central Florida region that includes a 215-acre commerce park. And about half of the airport's revenue is derived from real estate with leases and hangars, and it was once home to the U.S. Navy during World War II and the Korean and Vietnam Wars.
Remarkable. Very great. All right, Trey, finish it up. Something we may not know about GOA and MCO.
Well, thank you all again for having us this morning. I have two small facts. The construction of the Terminal C generated a significant economic impact for Orange County and the Orlando metropolitan areas. The fun fact that I like to tell people is that most folks don't realize that the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority not only represents the Orlando International Airport, but we also represent the Orlando Executive Airport on East Colonial. So those are two facts.
All right, interesting, very good. Okay, so really the heart of what we're talking about today is each of you represents very large organizations and operations. And so many of us probably think that those who work with you and for you also have to be large. But that's not the case, Michelle, as you alluded to a little bit earlier. So why don't we start with you. Give us a small business success story, maybe a smaller company that you can point to that has really done well with you.
Yeah, we have actually had several small businesses that we like to grow companies up if we can. One example is TLP Engineering. This was a woman-owned business. There were 2 of them in 2010, and she now continues to work with us. She was subs on many contracts. Now she is a prime, and she has 25 employees continuing to work for us. So we like to give the opportunity for small businesses to be mentored by some of our larger businesses. And some of the services that while we're road building, we have a variety of things that we do. Landscaping, we have printing services, we have marketing services. Our communications and marketing contractor came in through our Sustainable Small Business Enterprise Program. She started as one person, and now she has 7 people that work for her. So we look to, when you partner with us, we want to see you flourish.
That's excellent. All right, I appreciate that. Maurice, same thing, a small business success story. And I see our audio engineer doing the good work over there. So everybody grab those microphones and get them close, and that way everybody can hear you. So Maurice, same question, small business success story that you can point to.
Okay, so at LYNX, we just recently executed one of our largest contracts within the agency, our paratransit ADA accessibility services. So the prime that we had on the contract, TransDev Services, Inc., actually hired multiple subcontractors, which they're small businesses that's operating here in the Central Florida community. So that's a really big deal because it's a big price tag on the actual contract value, and also it encourages and fosters our disadvantaged business enterprise program, our DBE program. So,
very good. Thank you. All right, Roberta, at the Sanford Airport Authority, such a great community partner here, a small business success story that you can point to.
We also contract with engineering firms. We have 4 continual contracts right now, and Avcon Engineering began serving the airport about 20 years ago, and it has grown from 4 employees to over 100 highly qualified and dedicated individuals in offices throughout the United States. They have worked with the airport to help them expand and partner, and it's been a really great relationship.
That's wonderful. All right, Trey, so a small business success story over at GOA.
One that comes to mind is Sky Builders USA, owned by Juan Velez. He's an Hispanic construction owner, and he has some fans in the room right now. But Juan has gone through our program, and Juan currently is actually taking advantage of a designated mobilization program where companies are able, small businesses specifically, are able to get up to 5% advances. We have a partnership with McCoy Federal. And that helps small businesses with startup costs, with salary, purchasing goods and services and other materials that they may need for some of these projects to do business with agencies as large as ours. So Juan Velez is definitely a success story at the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Okay, next we're going to talk about, the process of doing business with each of your agencies. It can be a very specific process, and there are things to do and things not to do. And of course, we always want to avoid the not to do's. So I wanted to get a little bit of advice from each of you about something we should not do to increase our chances of being able to do business. So Michelle, let's start with you again at the Expressway Authority. Let us know what not to do.
What not to do. Well, I'm going to go through a variety of things, but one thing I think is not necessarily helpful is contacting our board members. We have a very prescribed procurement process, and I think all of these folks up here can tell you that for a variety of reasons. Transparency and fairness. We have Florida statutes and federal laws that we have to abide by, and typically by the time it gets to our board, it's gone through a series of steps for you to win a contract with us, and the board typically takes the staff's recommendation. There's committees and so forth. So the board, while they could make a different decision, I would say 99.999% of the time they're going to take a staff's recommendation. I would tell you on that, I want to flip it just a little bit and say what you should do is you need to know all of these folks that are here, as well as for our agency. We had just this Monday a new family member join us who is Malaya Bryan, and she's our Director of Business Opportunities. So she's brand new. And so those are the folks that you need to know, and you need to, I would say, make sure that you are active on our websites and register.
All right, that's excellent advice, because each agency has a community board, I believe, and I'm sure a lot of us in here know board members who are there, so excellent piece of advice. So we'll jump to things to do, but before we do that, does anybody else have any not to do's that they can think of off the top of their heads that they may want to add?
I would add, don't oversell and don't overcommit. You know what your business is capable of, so be the best at what you do, because we will find out. And
one other thing, because I'll just tell you that I've been with the agency for more than 15 years now, and I was actually in the procurement process for years when we would have to do RFPs and interviews and so forth. So a couple of things, recommendations that I would say is make sure whatever the RFP is, you answer every single question. Don't leave anything off. Don't think, oh, I don't have an answer to that. Make sure that you put something down. The other thing is make sure that there are no typos and no grammatical mistakes on any sort of submittals. And for goodness sakes, whoever you are putting in a proposal to, make sure on that proposal you have the right agency. You would be surprised at the number of proposals we get that say, you know, they're looking forward, like for us, to working with the Florida Department of Transportation. Well, that's the wrong agency. So I would just say, because I have sat in those reviews, you are automatically deducted points, and if you can't QC your own document, I look at it as, how are you going to represent me?
Yeah. And I would also add that don't be afraid to ask questions. Reach out to your procurement person at the agency and ask questions. We are here to help and more than happy to show you the way.
All right, that's excellent. Great advice. Thank you all. All right, so to kind of bounce off of that, I know each of your agencies has specific programs that will help businesses, especially small businesses, through this process. So can you talk us through some of those? Maurice, let's start with you at LYNX, programs to assist businesses in this process.
Sure. So LYNX receives a lot of funding from the USDOT, a flow down through the Federal Transit Administration. And a part of my department's compliance component is ensuring that each federal procurement that we put out has a goal, a DBE goal assisted in it. We actually have a DBE office within LYNX to also help, you know, small businesses, disadvantaged businesses to register, and my department is well versed as well. So that's a huge program for LYNX, and if you want any additional information, I'll be happy to talk to you more afterwards.
Wonderful, thank you. Roberta, at Sanford Airport, programs to help our businesses.
We attend and also participate in outreach programs. And then yearly we will hold an outreach program for vendors to come and visit and learn how to do business with us. We do have an upcoming event with the National Institute of Government Procurement called the Reverse Trade Show this Wednesday at the Maitland Civic Center. If you're interested in attending, please reach out to me afterwards and I'll give you the information on that. But many, many agencies will participate on Wednesday, and it's a great opportunity to not only learn about transportation agencies, but also many others in Central Florida as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Michelle, at the Expressway Authority, programs that can help.
We have a lot of different programs, and let me say, get in touch with Malaya. She can give you all the details, and go to our website and register. But from SSBE, which is what I mentioned a little bit ago, for a small sustainable business enterprise program, we do WBE, we do disadvantage, so all of the typical programs. Now, what I will tell you is we do not get any sort of federal or state dollars. All of our dollars are user fees, so the tolls that you pay, that's the money that we have for procurement and for us to provide our services and build transportation. But I, again, would just encourage you to register to be a vendor on our website, and Malaya can help you with that.
Very good. And Trey, over at GOA, programs that can help small businesses.
Well, we operate the two federal required programs, DBE, ACDBE, which is airport concessions, disadvantaged businesses, along with 3 voluntary programs, your MWBE, Minority Women Business Enterprises, VBE, Veteran Business Enterprises, as well as LDB, your local disadvantaged businesses. In addition to the designated mobilization program I mentioned earlier that Juan Velez is taking advantage of, which allows small businesses of up to 5 to 10% advances with approval by our CEO to help with startup costs, to help with purchasing goods and services and other materials that you may need for some programs. So that is I think that is unique for us. We actually just, on October 12th, we had over 1,200 registered guests for our 17th annual event held at the Hyatt Regency on International Drive, our annual How to Do Business with GOA. So that is a continued program. It's continuing to grow, and I think it's helping a lot of folks understand what it takes to actually do business with us.
All right, very good. Thank you. And Trey, let's stay with you because you mentioned the certifications, minority women-owned business enterprises, other things. Let's talk about those certifications because it's so important. It's such a phenomenal opportunity. Do businesses have to gather those certifications with each of your agencies individually? Are there places they can go to get one certification that would apply to all? Walk us through that a little bit.
Well, at GOA, we do have an in-house certification specialist within our small business department, and it's unilateral between the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority, City of Orlando, and Orange County. So you can get certified through either one of these three agencies, and we will recognize those certifications. In addition to, if anyone was to get certified through the state with the state certification, there's a fast track process where we can, check a few more boxes, ask you maybe for a couple more documents, but it'll avoid you from, starting from square one. So the fast tracking certification from state certifications is recognized, as well as the three entities that I mentioned, GOA, City of Orlando, as well as Orange County.
Anyone else want to jump in on that with ways that can assist with certifications?
What I would just say is don't let it scare you. Don't be frightened by the process. I would just encourage you that if you're interested in doing business with any of our agencies, that you speak to our Director of Procurement or our Business Opportunities or Supplier Diversity, whoever that person is at any of our agencies, because there are resources to help walk you through it. Don't let, because your perception of the agencies and the size of us, because we really, I know all of the agencies and leadership and boards, and all of them really want to support the small businesses in our region.
Trey?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention a certification process. It doesn't cost you anything but time. And we have folks there to help you navigate and help guide you through this process. But I often remind people when I'm doing presentations is that if you're not certified, I think you're leaving too much on the table, because a lot of the prime contractors, they only get credit and points when they partner with a subcontractor who is certified. So that is a definite benefit for you to at least explore the certification process. You may not need it today, but when you have it, and the opportunity presents itself and you are certified, you don't have to wait the approximate 90+ days for the certification.
All right, excellent. Thank you for that. All right, let's talk about upcoming projects, because of course that's something that we in here would be very interested to know. So for each of you, one contract or project that it's coming up that we in here and businesses in the community should keep their eye on for opportunities. So Roberta, let's start with you over at Sanford Airport.
We do have an airport planning services, which is a professional service and a request for qualifications that is upcoming. But I would also like to mention 2 construction projects that will also be upcoming by the end of this year. And it's very important to, if you're interested in being a sub, to follow these projects so that you know who is awarded after the board approves the award, so that you know who to reach out to if you're interested in being that sub.
All right, Maurice,
Sure.
how about you? Something coming up.
Yeah, so we have 2 exciting projects, facilities projects at LYNX that's currently in the design phase. The first one is our windows replacement at our LYNX Central Station, and also our LYNX headquarter building, which is located in downtown Orlando. So that's going to be a huge one for the agency. And also we have our HVAC replacement and enhancement at our headquarters and also our satellite facilities as well.
All right, wonderful. Michelle, how about you at Expressway?
I wish I could tell you all the projects that we have coming out. We have, we have $4 billion worth and about $800 million worth of projects specifically for this year. So I would tell you this. 1, register on our website to get notifications. 2, we publish anything that is coming up in the next 3 to 6 months on our board agenda. So on our website, once our board meets every second Thursday of the month, and on that agenda will be a list of projects that we are going to be procuring. And then if you're just in contact with us through, I keep mentioning her, Malaya, then she will also know that. One of the things I just quickly want to say is, I don't know what all of your businesses are, but I think you might be surprised at the needs that we have in an agency such as ours. One thing that just came to mind as they were just speaking was we have plant services, and I think that's coming up in the next 6 months, where we rent plants for our building, and that is a contract that we have. So whatever your business is, don't think, well, maybe whatever it is that you're doing, you may not fall into what we may need. Go to our website and check that out, because you might be surprised at what your business is doing. We may need that somehow.
Okay, outstanding. Trey, something coming up at GOA.
Michelle, we had a plant contract that we put out 3 different times and couldn't find any local bidders.
Well, you know what?
Wow.
We had where we were looking for landscaping contractors to offer to small businesses, and we could not get enough people to bid on that contract. Yeah. So I'm just saying,
Well,
get the word out.
Yeah.
Anybody want to get in the plant and landscaping business out there? There you go. Sounds like there's some opportunity. All right.
Well, everyone is aware that we just recently started our Brightline train services. Last year, we completed our Terminal C project, and we currently have an additional design bid and award service. The project is BP-S196, and that's for airfield silver apron expansion. So with the addition of Terminal C, I'm sure there are plenty of projects that'll be coming down the pipeline just to build out that area and that space. But I also encourage everyone here that is interested in doing business with us to register with the OpenGov, and that's where all of our procurement is located. So opengov.com. If you have any questions, I'm going to leave my business cards, and I'll be here after the conversation.
Yep, and the Sanford Airport Authority also uses OpenGov procurement platform. If you go to our website, www.flysfb.com, you can click on the procurement portal and easy registration. It's very intuitive. There's a help button down at the bottom of the screen with a live help desk. And of course, you can always reach out to procurement, and we can help you through that process. But you'll also be able to register and identify yourselves as a DBE or veteran preference on that site as well, and you can follow projects that way.
And we use Demand Star. So if you go to LYNX.com, on the procurement page, it will direct you to Demand Star, and you can register your business, select commodity codes, and whenever we have an opportunity available, you'll be the first to get the package.
All right, outstanding. So I want to leave good time for Q&A from the crowd here, but before we wrap up, let's do rapid fire. We've talked a lot about purchasing and contracts and things like that, but I want one thing from each of your agencies, not related to purchasing, that you're excited about and that we should be excited about here in the community. So we'll start with Trey and come back up the line. So Trey at GOA, not about purchasing, but one thing we should really be excited about.
One thing we should be excited about, we have just inherited in the small business department our new vice president who came from the Central Florida Expressway Authority.
Okay.
Her name is Arnetta Dennis, so we're excited. She's been there a little over 2 months, but we're really excited she came in and hit the ground running. So I'm excited about her vision and her knowledge, her expertise that she brings to the authority. I've only been here since February, so we have a chance to, form something good, special, and different together. So watch out for the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority Small Business Department.
All right, and I love the synergy. That's
I feel like
great.
That's a challenge.
All right, Roberta, how about you? Something non-procurement related that we should be excited about at Sanford?
Well, we are excited about the endless opportunities for growth in the airline sector, with the potential for economic growth within the Central Florida area with tourism and the real estate opportunities around the airport. And I think that'll help not only the small businesses here in Central Florida, but it will expand the airport and just be a hub of excitement for people all across the country.
That's awesome. All right, Maurice at LYNX, something to be excited about.
All right, so it is Mobility Week this week. So we partner with FDOT. So actually today and throughout the rest of this week, Try Transit You know, try any LYNX route, try Sunrail as well. It's absolutely free. So please take advantage.
All right. Michelle, something to be excited to Expressway.
So while I don't know all the projects, one of the most exciting projects I think that we have in the works that we're going to be breaking ground on the first quarter of next year is we're building a new roadway between Orange and Lake County, and it's called the Lake Orange Expressway. Part of that facility is going to have in-road charging technology. So that means if you have an not you, but we're testing. Electric vehicles, we're putting the charging actually in the pavement. And so vehicles will be able to drive over and it'll consistently keep the charge. So that's a pilot project, and we're very excited about it. I think that that's potentially the future of transportation and electric vehicles. So that's
wow. Okay. All right. I know we've got a few Tesla owners in the room who are all like, what? Okay. All right. Outstanding. Thank you all for that. How about a big hand for our panel today? Thank you all. Now, I think we have time for one or two questions. If there's anybody in the crowd that has something they'd like to ask these fantastic folks, just put your hands up, and Emmeline will come around with the microphone. Don't be shy. There's how many billions of dollars on the table? Right back there.
One thing I was curious about Sunrail. I mean, your work with Sunrail and all that, because I know they don't run on Saturdays or on the weekends or anything like that. I've always wondered about that. It's like, I like going downtown or Winter Park or something like that on the weekend, and I live right here in Lake Mary where I could just park there and don't have to deal with the traffic and parking.
Yes, I'm aware, but unfortunately, Sunrail is under FDOT's purview, so I would defer that to an FDOT representative.
Well, and Sunrail's a commuter rail
Yep.
system, and depending upon if the success of trying to get Sunrail to the from downtown Orlando to the airport, they are looking at potentially expanding those hours.
Yes.
All right, very good. Question right here.
I'm going to do a positive comment to Sanford Airport with Allegiant. My daughter and grandchildren lived in Charlotte, and I'm that grandma who missed them so much. I am not exaggerating. It was probably the happiest day of my life when Allegiant opened up the Concord Charlotte thing, and I was once a month flying. I have talked to so many people that said that that Allegiant Airlines has brought them to their grandchildren and visiting. I mean, countless people. So Yahoo, way to go, Sanford Airport.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Well, I will pass it back to Rebecca, but again, one more recognition. Travaris McCurdy from Greater Orlando Aviation Authority, big hand for Trey. Roberta Stanton from the Sanford Airport Authority, thank you for your leadership. Maurice Jones from LYNX, and of course, big hand for Maurice. And Michelle Maikisch from Central Florida Expressway Authority. Thank you all. Big hand for everybody.
Thanks for listening. To learn more about the Seminole County Chamber, please visit seminolebusiness.org or check us out on our social media at Seminole County Chamber.